Welcome back to the new Yachtsman channel. Today I've got a great guest, Jay Stratmann, and he works for a company called Starboard Yacht Group, and they do a lot of retrofits on yachts, and they do yacht management, and they really get involved in a lot of the things that I think will be helpful to the new yachtsman to talk about. Jake, why don't you introduce yourself and let us know what your company is really focused on?
Absolutely. Jake Stratmann, Starboard Yacht Group was founded in 2008 to really bring entertainment to another level in the yachting industry. It went through a lot of different development over the years, and 3 years ago we changed the company, specializing more in products and equipment that create the ultimate boating experience. And over the last 24 months, I've really moved towards naval architecture and engineering around our core product lines, Seakeeper and Humphreys interceptors, that have really created mainstream place in the new boat construction. And now we're retrofitting boats with this amazing technology to eliminate boat roll and make the boats more comfortable underway.
So, new yachtsmen out there, if you haven't researched this subject yet, the Seakeeper gyro is one of the things he's talking about, and that and the interceptor system are both modifications you could do to a brokerage boat that make the boat more comfortable at sea. And the goal here is to make the boat roll less. And there's a lot involved there. Jake, maybe you could talk a little bit about, what is the process of getting those products installed on a new boat?
Absolutely. So between the Humphreys interceptors, the Humphreys all-electric fins, and the gyro, we represent the best technology in the industry for pleasure boating and even commercial. So it starts off with having a conversation with us on what the boat's how you plan on using the boat, what the plan is for the boat. Are you doing a lot of fishing? You're doing a lot of cruising? You're going to be doing a lot of anchoring. And we kind of go over that assessment, and then, meet on board the boat with myself, and maybe I'll bring aboard an engineer or one of our in-house naval architects, and we'll start configuring the space in our heads, and then put it on paper, and then reach out to the engineering departments at both Humphreys and Seakeeper and get some reporting going as to what the expectations can be for roll reduction and performance with these products. And, it's our job, and it's my goal to give all this information to you, black and white, no gray, dollars and cents. And at the end of the day, one of the best examples I use often is Serena Yachts, the Turkish builder, and they're using the Humphreys interceptors, the Humphreys electric fins, and the gyro on the same boat. So you can't have it all. You can look at how they all complement each other, and you can obviously look at the pros and cons of using a gyroscopic stabilizer like the Seakeeper versus with the interceptors. We're finding about 80% of our Seakeeper installs are included with interceptors versus the all-speed fins, or a combination of both.
I imagine the gyro is a little more involved just because it's kind of big and kind of heavy relative to the interceptor, and there must be a lot more engineering work involved in installing a gyro later in a boat.
So yeah, there's a lot of naval architecture for the gyro. Obviously, weight, it takes up space, and definitely adds, the weight characteristic to it. The interceptor is obviously going on the back of the boat. Their main, used to be the main purpose was more for trim, but now with the advancements in the technology, and the computer is able to learn the sea state and actually control those interceptors to give you better stability underway. But the big one here was, came out in 2015 with Humphreys, which is their all-speed fins, which we have a great opportunity with these older, later model boats that are running with some of the older hydraulic fin systems like Westmar and Track and Naiad and Quantum, doing an upgrade by removing this equipment and then utilizing that same location and structure to upgrade with these 24-volt fins. And sometimes on these older, larger yachts in the 80 to 100-foot range, trying to retrofit them with a Seakeeper can be done, but they have to give up a lot of space, reconfigure the areas, and sometimes remove fuel. And that's where obviously the replacing the old hydraulic fins with the new fins can accomplish quite a bit and be kind of the initial step in stabilizing the boat in terms of removing the older equipment and giving the boat incredible at-rest stabilization as well as underway.
And what about on the yacht management side? Are you finding you're helping a lot of customers manage their first boat?
We did a lot of that, for many, many years, and we still have some of those clientels. Right now, the yacht management is going more in the direction of, refit management and project management. And then we still kind of do highlight and focus on some of our key customers that really want that turnkey service of making sure the boat's always ready when they are. But right now we're really having a blast with the stabilization and bringing in the engineering and the naval architectural concepts to life on these boats.
So the customer would find a brokerage boat, buy the brokerage boat, probably bring it to your facility, and then you would start doing an assessment of, what things cost, what's reasonable to do in a reasonable time frame, and you guys would manage that whole process.
More or less. So we're dealing with constantly a lot of people calling us for information pre-sale. We're working with them on the closing side. A lot of times they're wrapping these purchases into the financing of the boat. So that's also a key thing because it can be expensive. So you can actually use this when you sell the boat with the bank and they can finance it in. So we're getting funded by the banks sometimes as well as part of the deal. Has its advantages. And then here at Harbor Town, we service boats under 100 feet, maybe up to about 105. And then we have a Lauderdale Marine Center facility where we bring boats over 100 feet. And, obviously, once the boats arrive, we can do complete project management of the whole job, or we're happy to work with anybody else you have on board to help assist with the success of the project.
Have you seen a real uptick in the number of kind of new yachtsmen getting into the industry lately?
Absolutely. It's been an incredible time. I've been doing this since I was 15 years old, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we have all the existing boaters that are happy to have had this as an option to spend their time over the last several years, and just a huge, influx of new interest and new boaters that are finding now is the time to make a commitment to the industry and making those jumps.
What advice would you give the new yachtsmen when they're just starting out? How do you think they should go about finding the right first boat?
Yeah, there's so much to choose from on boats, and everything is pros and cons. So certainly, it's always good to do a charter first. Really get aboard a boat and find that experience that you want to mimic. Because it really is about, what you want to do on the water, what the end goal is. Be very open-minded on what you really want to do, and then go to an expert that, can put you on that, experience with something that you own and is going to do the job for you and provide that platform for you and your family and your guests.
Are you seeing a lot of like traditional trawler type customers? Or are you finding a lot more fast motor yacht customers? What's kind of the trend in the industry you're seeing right now?
Wow, we cover a lot of ground here at Starboard Yacht Group with our product lines, and it's all over the place. We're doing with the Humphreys products quite a bit of water jets and faster boats like Antelope, a 154 Italia yacht with 3 Seakeeper 26s and full steering interceptor package, which is really cool technology. So we have some specific products for the water jets that's specific to Humphreys. And we're continuously working on those boats in addition to these trawlers. I have right now 4 trawlers under contract being refitted with Humphreys fins and Seakeepers, at the moment. So it's 50-50. I mean, plus also some of the more traditional kind of cruiser style Ferrettis and boats of that, princesses. I mean, I think all of them are firing. I mean, they really are. I'm seeing just, every type of, there's so many out there, and, they're all very popular and they do different things, and, they're meeting the needs of a lot of people right now.
Are you really struggling with labor force and things like and parts availability right now?
We, thank goodness, have kind of achieved a level of experience and expertise knowledge where we're putting together training programs to help scale up because it has been a continuous battle over the last 2-3 years, and even was before. things got to where they are today. And then on our parts side, thank goodness our vendors are committed. I mean, I don't want to drop names, but to speak about some products being over a year is hard to fathom. We're usually around 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Occasionally we'll hit like a 6-week product, from deposit to delivery. And, looking at these times, that's not an issue. And we've made sure that it really hasn't affected our clients very much. Recently, with the Ukraine situation, shipping overseas is you never know what's going to happen next. It's always seems like something you didn't really plan for is affecting you. But it is what it is, and we're all in it together.
Yeah, and I'm finding that I have a lot of clients right now that are looking for a new boat, and then they figure out the new boat's 2 or 3 years away, and they don't want to wait 3 years for a boat, which I completely understand. So I really think that getting involved in looking at a brokerage boat, maybe you weren't considering initially, and working with a company like yourselves that how to make it what I want or closer to what I want is really the key. And I don't think that the yacht broker and the surveyor can figure that out. I really think you need a naval architect and a project manager, someone that's going to own this process for months, not days, is really the key to success for the new yachtsman.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, the boats really, from a design standpoint, haven't changed that much. There's some new trends that are going out there. The biggest change is the equipment, and that's really our specialty. We're also, full Raymarine, Furuno, Garmin dealer, and air conditioning and everything else we do here at Harbortown. So when it certainly comes to making those major modifications and upgrading those boats with new technology, this is the place to go.
Yeah, new yachtsmen out there. The air conditioning in a boat is something we haven't really talked about yet on this channel, but it works all the time. That air conditioning is on in Florida 24 hours a day, or you'll have a moldy boat. So it lasts about 10 years, and it's a pretty big job to do that right. So about every 10 to 12 years, you're going to really retrofit the air conditioning to a large degree, if not change out most of the major components if you want it to be reliable. Sometimes you can string it along for longer, but when the AC breaks in Florida, your trip is over. So Jake, you do a lot of stuff with chiller systems and conventional systems?
We do. We've been a Webasto marine air dealer, and it's not really our core, but it's certainly we've been supporting those brands for many, many years. Being in manufacturing for so many years, so many of the products that we picked up was to support the manufacturers, and so we were able to find pockets in the support side, and that's where a lot of our relationships started 10 years ago with a lot of these product lines, is supporting manufacturers. And so we offer here at Harbortown a full service model for boats under 100 feet. When it gets into the larger boats over 100 feet, we tend to just stick with our stability products, and those are ones that we're servicing all the way up to Jacksonville, Florida right now, and Key West on the service side, and doing more stability refits outside of here at Harbortown. But here at Harbortown, we do full service and support and refits.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate your time. And you yachtsmen out there, please like and subscribe if you found this interesting, and we'll check back in with Jake in a few months.
Outstanding.
Thank you, Jake.
Got it. Thank you, guys.